was talking to Cynthia, and she told me a story. She's, yeah, I don't know, age-wise, maybe 50, 60 years old, telling me the story about when she was, I can't remember now, but 10 or 12 years old. And she'd been looking forward to this weekend she was going to get with her dad in San Francisco. He was going to be at a conference all day, and she would stay at the hotel, and then she would meet him at the end of this event, and they had planned everything minute by minute. They were going to go watch a movie. They were going to go into Chinatown and eat Chinese meal, a favorite meal. They were going to then go get ice cream. They were going to go back to the hotel room, order food service there, and eat ice cream again, or cookies, whatever, and then watch another movie. They had the whole thing laid out, and they've been looking forward to it for a long time, especially she had, because this one-on-one time, of course, is immensely valuable, and it's exciting, and it's not just the doing of a thing, it's the anticipation of it. And so they've been building this together. So the day arrives and everything's going according to plan, and at least through the day, they meet at the end of the conference. She meets her dad and is about to walk out of the conference center. She told me that her dad, friends from years ago, like longtime friends, and his wife had surprised him and said, "My goodness, we couldn't believe it that you were at this conference, and we're so excited to be here, and we just absolutely want you. And oh my goodness, here's your daughter as well. Bring her with you. We'd love to. We'll take you to an extraordinary seafood meal overlooking the harbor, and we'll have a wonderful time." And when Cynthia tells me the story, she says that in that moment, her heart just sinks. She doesn't like seafood anyway. But also what she realized was that as soon as this plan changed, she would just be there for the ride. The conversation isn't with her. It's going to be adult conversation, and she's just an afterthought. And so she just goes, okay, well, it's ruined. And then she said, my dad looked at them and said, "It's so nice that you're here. I love that you're here. I'm so happy to see you. But every minute is already scheduled and spoken for, so we just have to take a rain check. We'll just have to do this later." He grabbed her hand and he ran out the door, and they went and did every part of their plan as had originally been organized. And so here she's telling me this now. Her father has passed away. It's the story that she told at his funeral. And she knew in that moment that he really thought she mattered, that she was essential, that this relationship was vital. I suppose the kicker, the little reveal on this is that this is Cynthia Covey, and her father is Stephen Covey, the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a mentor to me before he passed away. And really, it meant a lot to me to hear her tell that story, and to curate that out of all the experiences of her life with her father as being defining. And what's brilliant about that story is that we all have that opportunity. We can get clear about what is essential. We can invest in what is essential, and we can, therefore, because we're so clear on that, either eliminate or negotiate or reduce all the non-essentials so that we can actually live a life that really matters and not leave those essential activities and relationships uninvested in at the end. That's a pretty great value proposition.
Yeah. When you say that Covey was a mentor, did you actually meet him person to person in real life, or do you mean more?
Yeah.
Really?
Lots of times, yeah.
Wow.
And talk to him on the phone often as well. And it was when I'd quit law school years ago, as I'm sure you know, and then came to the United States to teach and write. That was my focus. That's what I wanted to do instead of studying law. And so I felt full of a mission, a sense of mission. And I still feel it now. The flavor of the mission has changed. The taste of it has changed as I reflect on that right now. But the depth of it, the strength of it has certainly not diminished. And I remember, so even when I was just at university, as at BYU, and he lived close to there. And so I looked him up, and I remember the first time I met with him in person, I said, something along the lines of, look, I just really want to write, I want to teach, and I want to write a book. And I must have been, I don't know, I was 22 or something at the time. And he said, oh, Greg, he said, you just haven't got a clue. He said, you don't even know what you don't know. And I'm like, well, that's marvelous. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen.
To actually met you here. This is all the inspiration I was hoping for and looking for. Done better. And then, at least my interpretation of what happened next was not that he just moved from, look, I was just giving you a hard time, now let me encourage you. No, something else happened. I think he was leveling with me. That's what he was saying. I don't think he was, hey, here's the punch and now's the nice. I think he was saying, do you understand how many people I talk to that just want to have a huge best-selling book? Do you understand how, that's like millions of people want that. And you're just like all of them. Are you really willing to go on the journey you need to go on? But in the pause that followed, it was like he listened to something. It was as if he could feel something, and he just said, I won't go into everything he said, but the spirit of what he said next was like, you know what, who am I to say? Maybe the challenges in the world are so great, and that the time to solve them is so short that you really will have a mission to teach and to bless lives. And I found both pieces of that interaction instructive. They're both totally true in that moment. The reality of, well, to come back to a phrase we're using now, the reality of you're rubbish at the beginning. You don't know anything. You don't know what you don't know. You're going to be naive. Also with the reality of, yes, but you have an essential mission to live. And if you can tap into that, if you can keep coming back to that, even if it was once a week that you got renewed in that idea, it can add up significantly over time. And suddenly you can start to achieve a tremendous level of contribution. Not by doing what everyone else is doing. Oh, for heaven's sake, not doing what everybody else is doing. But doing just what your essential mission, coming back to what you are meant to do, built to do, came here to do. And so that was the first interaction, but there were many others.